This is 2026, and I've been doing digital art since 2023. Today, I want to show you how I evolved, how I went from art that looked like this to art that looks like this. So if you really want to see my full art evolution and everything I've learned along the way, make sure you watch till the end. Let's get started. I started my digital art journey in 2023. The first artwork I ever posted was around December. And honestly, that wasn't even my first drawing. I had created a few digital artworks before that, but I don't have them anymore. They're just gone. At that time, I had a fear, a very real fear. I was scared that people would troll me, that they would say things like, "You don't even know how to draw," or "Why are you even trying to become an artist?" And that fear held me back for a long time. I kept thinking, what if I'm not good enough yet? What if people laugh at my work? What if I embarrass myself? But then at one point I stopped overthinking. I told myself, maybe my art isn't perfect, but it's not so bad that I should hide it forever. And that one thought changed everything. So I finally posted. But here's the truth that most people don't see. In the entire year of 2023, I only made 2 drawings. Just 2. Not because I didn't want to improve, but because fear, doubt, and inconsistency kept stopping me. I would start, then stop, get motivated, then lose it again. And slowly, days turned into months. But even then, those 2 drawings mattered because they were the beginning. They were proof that I at least tried. And every artist you see today started exactly like this. Slow, imperfect, scared, but they didn't stop. And neither will I. This wasn't the year I became great. This was the year I started. Then 2024 started. This time I decided to improve. I began practicing drawing female faces, something I'd almost never done before. Earlier, I had drawn very few female characters. And honestly, even when I tried to draw a female character, it would still end up looking like a male. In fact, some of the artworks that you might think are male characters were actually supposed to be female characters. I just changed them later because they didn't look right. That's how unfamiliar I was with it. But slowly, I started learning, understanding face structure, softness, expressions, and how different small details can completely change a character. This year, I also did something new. I participated in a drawing challenge and created a character name. It was a really good experience for me. I even made a proper submission for it. But unfortunately, I didn't get featured in their video. And yeah, that hurt a little. But at the same time, something had changed. While I was drawing, I actually started liking my own art. For the first time, I would look at my drawing and think, wow, this actually looks good. But then reality would hit. As soon as I posted it on social media and saw other artists, I would feel demotivated again. I would start thinking, I still have such a long way to go. And honestly, this still happens to me. Even today, I post my art, then I see other artists, and sometimes I feel like I'm not good enough yet. But the difference now is, I don't stop anymore, because I realized something important. I don't draw because of posting. I draw because I genuinely enjoy it. Of course, I want results. Of course, I want success. Everyone does. But my main goal is still drawing itself. That's what keeps me going. During this phase, I also made some artworks that actually stood out. But there was a problem. Most of them were heavily reference-based. I would take a good reference and copy it almost line by line. At first, it felt like improvement, but deep down I knew it wasn't truly my art. There was very little of my own creativity in it. So I made a decision. I only did that a few times, maybe 2 or 3, and then I completely quit it because I didn't want to become someone who can only copy well. I wanted to become someone who can create. Didn't want perfect copies. I wanted real growth. There was a point when I realized something really important. When I looked back at my old drawings, I saw how far I had actually come. At first, I didn't notice it. I always felt like I was moving slowly, or even going backwards sometimes. But when I compared my past work to my current art, I realized I had improved a lot more than I thought. And that feeling, it's honestly something special. Now, when I look at my old drawings, I don't feel embarrassed anymore. Instead, I see something different. I see effort. I see growth. I see a kind of beauty in them. Not because they're perfect, but because they show how far I've come. I know some of you watching might think, these drawings aren't that good. Why is he even showing this? Isn't this just a waste of time? And honestly, I understand that point of view. I really do. But for me, these drawings are not just drawings. They are proof. Proof that I started from a place where I wasn't good. And slowly, step by step, I became better. They remind me of my struggles. How lost I was, how inconsistent I was, and how many times I doubted myself. But they also remind me of something else. I didn't quit. I kept going. And that's why they matter. There's this one character I made for a Sam Does Art challenge and designed a character around it. It was a really fun experience, and I've actually participated in 2 to 3 art competitions like that. But I've never won, not even once. And yeah, that used to bother me. But now, I see it differently. Because even if I didn't win, I still improved. I still created something. And in the end, that matters more than any result. I may not have won any competitions, but I didn't lose either, because I became better. Another important part of my journey, I used to draw on a damaged tablet. The screen was heavily damaged. You couldn't even see things clearly on it. And on top of that, it lagged a lot while drawing. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't comfortable. But that's what I had. And honestly, I still have that tablet. Maybe someday in the future, I'll show it to you guys. Because that device is a big part of my journey. And at this point, I also realized something else. My coloring skills back then were really bad. The colors looked dull. There were no proper shadows, no values, no dips. Everything felt flat and lifeless. And now when I look back, I understand why people didn't support my art that much. It wasn't just bad luck. I simply had a lot to improve. But instead of giving up, I started learning. I watched a lot of tutorials. How to improve art, how to color better, how to understand lighting, shading, everything. And from each tutorial, I learned something. Maybe small things, but they added up. And here's something personal. I have never gone to an art school. Everything I know today, I learned from online tutorials. All those artists you see on YouTube, all those tutorial creators, they're basically my teachers. And because of them, I was able to improve. So for this part of my journey, I just want to say thank you to every artist who shared their knowledge, to every tutorial that helped me understand something new. You are the reason I am better today. I didn't have the best tools or formal training, but I had the will to learn, and that changed everything. At this point in my journey, my art was very inconsistent. Some drawings looked okay, some actually looked pretty good, and some were just really bad, like complete disaster level. And honestly, that used to confuse me a lot. I couldn't understand. How can I make one good drawing, and then the next one turns out so bad? But at the same time, this was also a phase of exploration. I started trying a lot of new things in my art. Different styles, different techniques, different ways of coloring and rendering. In the beginning, my art was heavily inspired by Colleen's work. You could clearly see the influence. But slowly, I started shifting my style. Moved a bit more towards realism, trying to understand structure, lighting, and depth better. And if you ask me today, my art is highly influenced by Sandra's art's work, their style, their rendering, their approach. It had a strong impact on me. I also made a few fan arts during 2024, which helped me practice more and understand characters better. And just like that, 2024 came to an end. Not with perfection, not with huge success, but with progress. Real progress. I wasn't where I wanted to be yet, but I was no longer where I started. Then came 2025, and honestly, this was the most important year of my journey. This was the year everything started to change. At the beginning of 2025, I was very stressed. I had already spent 2 years in digital art, but I didn't see any major improvement. No one really knew me. I wasn't growing. And the truth is, it wasn't anyone else's fault. It was mine. I wasn't focusing properly on improving my art. I wasn't consistent. I was just stuck. But this year, I made a decision, a serious one. I promised myself, no matter what happens, I will stay consistent. Around March, I started posting regularly. Not perfectly, but consistently. And after a few months, I made another decision. I started a YouTube channel. And guys, you won't believe this. That was the best decision of my life. At first, my shorts barely got any views. Almost nothing. It felt like no one was watching. But slowly, you guys started showing support. And then something crazy happened. My views started growing fast. Every video started getting thousands of views, then lakhs, and some even reached millions. And honestly, all the credit goes to you. Because no matter how good my art is, if people don't support it, it means nothing. Today, getting 50,000 or even 100,000 views on a video doesn't feel impossible anymore. But that didn't happen because I was special. It happened because you supported me, because you watched, liked, shared, and believed in my work. This is not just my growth. This is our growth. Your support turned my effort into results. I didn't grow alone. You all grew with me. Guys, if this ever feels like I'm saying all this just for social media, or to impress you, or just to get views and likes, you're free to think that. But if someone genuinely asks me, I'll always say this from my heart. You guys are not just viewers. You are my YouTube family. Not for views, not for numbers, but for real. Because honestly, in my real life, I haven't met as many kind and supportive people as I've met here on YouTube. The love, the appreciation, the support you guys have given me, it truly means everything. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Whatever I am today, it's not just because of my hard work. It's because of your support. You believed in me. You showed love to my art. And that's the reason my channel has grown. And we're not stopping here. We're going to grow this channel together. And if you ask me what I want from you, I just want one thing. Don't think of this as my channel. Think of it as our channel. Every viewer, every subscriber, every like. This is our family. And together, we're going to make it even bigger. Just like you supported my shorts. I know you'll support my long-form videos too. This video is getting a bit long now, so let's end it here. But I still have many more drawings to show you. We'll save those for another time. And once again, if even one thing I said connected with you, thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. This isn't just my journey anymore. It's ours. So yeah, this was my journey. Not perfect, not fast, but real. And honestly, I'm just getting started. Thank you for being a part of it.